Welcome to part 3 of this series where I help you build a chess study plan over the course of 4 weeks. In the first part, we talked about puzzles. Last week, we talked about playing and analysis. And this week, we're looking at the bookends of the game, openings and endgames. I think a lot of club players would probably admit they study openings too much and memorize lines they will probably never see in a game. Why is this? It's because if you know the opening, at least for a few moves, you have some semblance of control before you either get to some wild tactics or a boring locked position where you're like, I have no idea what to do next. At some level, you have to choose an opening and learn it well enough. That means a combination of memory and understanding. When you're learning a new opening, there are usually some main lines that are worth memorizing, which often happens naturally just by playing them enough times in games. It's also usually worth memorizing traps, so if you see one of those trapdoor moves, you're ready to pounce and are confident in the winning sequence. Also worth memorizing common traps from your opponent's perspective, so you don't mindlessly fall into them. When we're adding opening study to our study routine, you can use tools like Chessable to learn and practice your openings. Another exercise I learned from Nate Solon is a memory dump, where you open up a blank study or analysis board and enter in as many moves as you can remember, as many lines as you can in the opening that you're reviewing, totally by memory. Then check your course or video or study, whatever you're using as a reference, to fill in the gaps. Also, to carry over from last week's game review section, for the more advanced players, you can go back through your games and see where you first deviated from your opening and either relearn the book moves or add one more move to your repertoire. Now to the other end of the game, endgames. And you really have to meet yourself where you are here. At the beginner level, you should be drilling your checkmate patterns, the ladder checkmate with queen and king, with rook and king, etc. If you're way past that, probably worth drilling some basic king-pawn or rook endgame stuff. Practice the Lucina position. Practice your different drawing patterns with a rook against a rook and a pawn. Practice opposition. Set up different positions and play them out against the computer, or find some drills on chess.com. Another way to study endgames is with a book. You might be ready for practical endgames. Set those up on your board and spend some time calculating them. Don't just rush through. Pretend you're in an actual game. This is another phase of the game that, if you're prepared, you can really feel in full control. So it's another important thing to add to the routine. We'll finish out the last phase of our study plan in the next video. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. I'll see you soon.